Welcome back to another great episode of the TheVisionLab podcast in partnership with Nexum Creative. I'm your host, Ryan Cuffey, alongside with my co-host, Mr. Ryan Mosley. The TheVisionLab is the official growth mindset podcast for all visionaries worldwide, showing mad love to the cigar community. It's here in the lab where we focus on people's visions and dreams and how those dreams come into reality. Folks, it's all about tapping into and becoming the best versions of ourselves through self-discovery, self-examination, and self-actualization. Yo, Mo, I'm super excited about this one, man. I got the homie from way back in the day here in the lab. We're going to be talking about how to start a company during the pandemic, what it's like to write your own history from a legacy, and NuStandard as a company at large. And then our guest today is also going to give us a little tips and tricks on how to balance being a full-time spouse and a full-time mother. Yo, Mo, who do we have in the lab?
Today's guest is a native of Dallas, Texas. She is a graduate of USC. She is the granddaughter of the legendary Comer Cottrell. She is the founder and CEO of NuStandardHair.com. Please welcome Autumn Yarbrough to the TheVisionLab podcast.
What up?
Thank
What up?
you,
What
guys.
up?
What's up?
Nice to finally meet you. I've heard a lot of good things.
I know. I'm happy to meet both of you guys. Well, I'm sorry. We've known each other since the first grade. I know.
It's been a minute, though.
I know. See, you know what's happening.
Yeah. So let's get right on into it. You've got something big coming down the pipe this June, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what type of events do you do?
They're going to be edutainments. Okay. So the unique thing about this business is we're focused on the hairstylist. That's where my love is in the Black hair care industry. Somebody said it best, exactly what I was doing. You know, my grandfather did it his way. My mom focused on child, hair care just for me was her creation. And then I'm and then I'm like, okay, he did it his way, she did it her way, but I'm doing it my way.
Gotcha.
And they were not into the whole professional realm. And believe it or not, I was raised in the professional realm because they had a salon at Proline. Mm-hmm. So I was always hanging out with the hairstylist, always getting my hair done, enjoyed the whole process, loved it and everything else. And unfortunately, when we had that shift with the relaxer world, they threw the baby out with the bathwater. And it really affected the stylists and how they made money. And it just affected the whole trust factor. Multiple things occurred with that. You know what I mean? And that is the backbone to our community. So I'm like a deep obsession with Black hair care history. I mean, it's been here in the United States with Black hair care history since the 1400s. So slavery's been around longer than 400 years. People don't realize that. It started off in the New England states. They were just they allowed assimilation. They didn't completely abandon us, but we were indentured servants, basically. We got paid, all of those things. And then it was unique. They were compensated if they were able to mix race, everything. You got a tax if you were white and you were with a, person of color and all that to make the kids lighter, but you would still have them work. So what they were doing was bringing it. They didn't want pure blood Black. They wanted to be able to just say, okay, you'll just work, just like, a caste system and everything like that. But anyway, beyond all that, the backbone is hairstylists in our communities because of the lack of resources with so many other things at education. But those rotating dollars, those recycled dollars are very important to stimulate our economy and to give us a little bit more power and voice, right? It's capital. And we're losing that. Now, the Black, Hairstylist Network is getting a little stronger. There's a gentleman, I forgot his name, but he just got some funding and he's been doing a good job. I'm keeping my eye on him. But what he does is he focuses on wigs and weaves. So he's helped rebuild and strengthen the network with the Black hairstylists. If y'all remember, the 80s, 90s, the 2000s, it went hard, like with stylists, those things are so important to our community.
Why do you think they've fallen off in the mid 2000s or 2010?
Well, it had to do with the relaxer. It had to do with the relaxer and throwing out two things.
Fashion trends too.
Yeah, well, the relaxer, trust me, women would still use relaxers if we did it right. And I always take the analogy with breast implants. Is my favorite analogy if we would have done it this way. So I'm sure you guys are aware when breast implants first came out, and they actually started here in Dallas, but they had all the backlash from the ingredients, and women had to take them out. Women were dying and so forth. So what they did is similar to Bluebell. They stopped all production. All the companies got together, they stopped production. And what they did is they focused on the, transparency and the credibility and the efficacy of the breast implants, showing that they were safe, instead of shutting down the whole industry or just scooting over to a different way of doing things. And then they reintroduce it, and now it's as bigger as they'll ever be, and they're safe. And you have women that suffer from breast cancer, mastectomies, and they get them done. Well, what we did, and my grandfather and George Johnson and Ed Gardner, they're all guilty of it, and this is Salsheen, the big powerhouses, they just completely sold out. Instead of going back into R&D. And mind you, my grandfather was old. I get it. George Johnson is still living. My mom still actually keeps in touch with him. And it's ironic, his homeboy is married to the granddaughter of George Johnson. So it's such a small world. But the thing is, they sold versus putting in R&D. And in our community, even when we're successful, and Black hair care is one of the beyond entertainment. It's like we work in these we work in these, we work. Are you recording? The point is that they did not focus on R&D and really understanding what is going on with relaxers. Why is everybody becoming bald headed? Why is there statements that, with relaxers, they're causing cancer and all these things? Not investigating and researching and resolving issues, because there are certain chemicals, given with the demands of corporate America, where Black women could easily be comfortable with her day to day. Now, there was always the struggle, am I looking to fit with corporate America, or why can't I wear my hair natural?
That's where I was going to go.
Yeah, so you do have that as part of it. So I love this whole natural movement when people are like, no, this is my texture, I'm going to rock it, 100%. But you also have women that are like, no, I want my hair straight and laid. And that's the beautiful thing about Black hair magic. I can do whatever I want with my hair. I can wear it natural, or I can wear it straight. I can grow it out. Don't stop me and tell me I can't wear it straight, even though that is what somebody else wants to do, wants it natural. Because you get into these, controversies, and it happened even back then with Madam C.J. Walker. Well, I mean, the part with Madam C.J. Walker, even though she was one of the first with her products, she was always like, I want to bring proper attention to a woman's hair. She got backlash for that because it's the same thing what's going on with the whole natural movement. You're taking away the natural look of being a Black woman. And she's basically saying, well, the beautiful thing is we can wear our hair in so many different forms and, ways. Why stop that? And it's just always been the battle. Are we supposed to look like our counterparts and have straight hair when we're not born that way? Why can't we embrace our natural texture? For sure. Men can comfortably do it and even be embraced in terms of looking, as an attractive person with that, as opposed to women, you're typically ruffling feathers, or, people are like, what's wrong with you today? All of those things. So that's where the comfort came in my opinion, and just research that I've done, and then growing up in the industry. And you definitely know that, Cuffy, just, with Proline.
Well, and that's one of the things I wanted to ask you too. I mean, being the granddaughter of Comer Cottrell, iconic figure, especially in the, the Black hair care space, right? Do you feel, and I don't want to use this word, but I don't know another word to say, but do you feel pressure to follow in his footsteps, to live up to that legacy and what have you?
If there's any pressure, I put it on myself. So I've been fortunate where my parents have not put any pressure. In a way, I wish they did, ironically. My mother had a very strong love for her father. A lot of things that she did was the relationship they had. And they had an amazing father and daughter relationship, and worked together. And my father, my grandfather's son-in-law, I mean, they were a remarkable team. Now, my father still loves being a part of the industry, but my mom worked and gave it everything she had. So she is definitely detached from it. She helps me out because she is a marketing genius, but her love has always been cooking. And so for her, even when she was at Proline and did all these incredible things and really grew the business exponentially when she introduced Just For Me, that was not her love. Believe it or not, it was cooking. So she has never pushed it, but ironically, I loved it. It's like the love she left in the womb and I took it with me, and my deep obsession for Black hair just came out from day one. And so I've always felt I was on the sidelines. I think my mom did stuff to protect me because she didn't want to feel I had to follow. Go ahead and be creative, do your own thing.
Right. And that's a great point too, because I mean, we're not, coming fresh out of college or B school or what have you. This is really your second career, right?
Yep.
What's been the transition like from leaving kind of that corporate culture into a full-fledged entrepreneur and business owner?
Man, very refreshing. Life with purpose. I had a chance to listen, and I listen to you guys quite frequently.
Well, thank you.
And what Brittany had to say, it just resonated.
Mm-hmm.
And when you had her, it was my favorite part that she mentioned is that she had to basically bury that old part of her, put it to rest.
Yeah.
You make a lot of sacrifices and adjustments. I mean, we're down to one car. I think you know that.
Right.
Just so we can put everything we have into it and hopefully put enough where we can start raising capital and getting, some good funding.
It's always interesting when you start to talk to entrepreneurs and you really get into the growth mindset, which is one of the main pillars of the Vision Lab podcast. And, as you talk about, exiting the corporate culture and really diving into your own thing, and it's your baby, it is a very challenging mindset shift that has to take place. You're used to being told at whatever level, kind of where to be, what to do, who to report to, how they want that reporting to be, viewed or seen. There's just a laundry list. I mean, everybody that's listening in obviously understands that, but now you're that person. Either A, you have to answer to yourself, or you're instructing others to do it and meet it on the deadlines that you need to get done so that you can accomplish the goals and tasks that you set forth. How has that process been when you first woke up and realized, oh shit, like it's on me?
Absolutely. I mean, self-drive is required. And yes, in corporate America it is as well, but not like when you're starting your own business. And it's required, holding yourself accountable to the highest level. You don't have anybody knocking on your door. You don't have anybody. So you can, be a little lazy here and there, possibly. But the part where you have the passion is you're constantly feeling like you're catching up. For me, even though having the experience in corporate America, gaining the experience, skill set, having the education, it does help. There's always this part of me when my grandfather sold 20 years ago, I wish I just would have stayed in. So I am trying to catch up in my mind. Nobody's putting pressure on me like you're way behind, you should have done this. Not at all. It's just my own passion, where I believe I need to be placed and the impact I want to make in the Black community globally.
Do you ever turn it off? Because he and I got so many things going, and he told me today, he was like, it's one of those things to where we've got so much going, and it's what's you used the word compartmentalized, yeah. But this is your baby now, right?
Absolutely.
So is it possible for you to turn it off? Like, how do you manage that? Because I'm in a space now where I can't turn it off. I can't help it. It is what it is.
But it's relatively new to you.
This is true. But you already know how my brain works.
Yeah.
And so I'm just curious, with this being your baby, you've got the background in it. Like, do you turn it off?
You made a very good point. It's new to you. So when it was new to me, it is literally like birthing a child. And I believe you guys have kids. Mm-hmm. And if you remember when your baby came in, you didn't get to turn anything off. If it cried in the middle of the night, you got up. I mean, at the very beginning, and being in CPG, consumer packaged goods, and you're trying to get everything rolling, you don't have that option definitely at the beginning, because you're just trying to get everything going. And of course, I did it during the perfect time,
Yeah,
COVID
right?
last year.
Absolutely.
I thought it was the perfect time to do this.
Everybody was sitting down.
Yeah. So, I do believe there will be some natural times where you have to learn to turn it off, to have a little level of work-life balance and sanity. Even though this is my baby and passion, I mean, what child do you see that you're with 24/7? They eventually take a nap, and then as they get older, they get in their independence, all of those things. And so when there's that moment of a break, that's when I focus on my family and my friends. Life is too short. So I always want them to know, if something happens to me, I want somebody to pick up, where I left off, and because you will lose yourself in the process. Because and I'm very fortunate, my husband was willing to make these sacrifices, and he believes in this. And he's known I've talked about this forever, bless his heart, that we can do this as a team. Not a lot of households, and definitely not us, not our community, not us Black folks, do we have the opportunity to pursue these dreams because of the financial constraints we have.
Yeah. You mentioned the word teamwork. Cuff, allow me to say thank you to the people who have helped us when it comes to teamwork, working with them. Edwina Brown and the family at Blowing Smoke Cigar Lounge. EB, thank you again so much for all of your support. We appreciate you showing up last week for the 100th episode. Your support is beyond appreciated. You know how we feel about you. Thank you so much.
Cannot wait to see the new establishment next month. Believe we'll be in the building supporting and helping to christen the new building there. So thanks for all the support that you continue to give us, EB.
Because I'm getting to know you, right? Like you guys know each other forever. And so I'm curious, when you make that transition, right, to turn it off, we've always had these conversations, but what is the part, given you had the background in this business, what's the part that when you got into it, you didn't see coming?
Well,
that means I
mean,
yeah, me
the part I came from the financial world and insurance, and it is a good old boy system, and it's not very kind, not only to women, but people of color. So I thought I was well prepared to, deal with things. And then, let alone, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm going into the beauty industry. It's all about us women, empowering women. They're going to embrace. Well, it is male dominated, and it is still white male dominated. And I did not see coming some of the chauvinistic tones or not taking me seriously to start, putting me on the back burner. See, a part of this business, what I also didn't see coming was the relationships of B2B. I was like, whoa, I had B2B in the financial world, but it's so different because I did extraordinarily well in sales. That is what I do best, ultimately. And I didn't realize, typically you treat your clients great, but it's almost like as a client, you kind of have to sell yourself because they know the power of their supplies. Mm-hmm. They know the relationships they have. You want to have access to those resources. And even though you're the buyer, you end up being and feeling like the supplier, like you're the one that's selling yourself. Please use me, and you're paying for the services. And then, when it's like, it comes to, matter of fact, my mentor, who is an African-American gentleman, I had to start getting him to talk for me. That's how unfortunate it was, because he would refer me to people I would call treated really bad, but he would call and get it done for me. So we started game planning, and he would introduce, and then it was almost like pass me on, and then they would warm up. I mean, I've had to go through a few manufacturers. I've been treated bad by chemists. We do have a chemist on our team, and she's amazing. But even with her being involved in dealing with the manufacturer's chemist has been challenging. And we've been fortunate to be able to have a manufacturer that believes in our dream. You actually have to sell your dream to people. Or what happens is you're not going to be able to deliver what you're trying to, even if you come with a drafted product, meaning the ingredients, the recipes, all of that, and you bring it to them, you have to make sure they use it. They'll give you some excuses or they'll take it. And even though you sign an NDA, but they still are able to, at the end of the day, do something with your recipe. So it's always like this trust factor. But the biggest thing I notice is also, when you're a small guy, and then when you're a female and you're a woman of color, Black, straight up Black, let me just say, and proud and Black, but it's just like you in the back of the line, period. No matter how great it is, no matter what you're trying to deliver. I hate to say, and I'll be very honest, you guys, these products that are out here, and this is the sad part coming, being a part of this industry, they're all the same. And I couldn't take it anymore. And I'm very familiar with products. I'm a big performance fan. And that's why I started talking about the relaxer. Now, I do not do any relaxers. That is not with any of the products. Eventually, I hope I do. I hope I can create something that's safe. Women get color. And I'm going to say this, for the audience, because I know everybody's like, relaxers. If you color your hair, it's worse. Not necessarily for your hair, but the chemicals you breathe in, because it opens up the cuticle. It is more powerful than a relaxer will ever be. Yes, color does and can, if you inhale it too much, can cause cancer. It doesn't matter which kind. So, but the thing is, it's not to go, no, get your color, girls, because it's done safely. The chemicals are respected. What happened is, as much as I love what my grandfather did, and he took the product and made it affordable for our community so women can get their hair if they couldn't, done, they couldn't afford the stylist, it was available to them. But back then they respected the chemicals. Y'all need to look at some Soul Trains back in the 70s. Look at everybody's hair. It's down their back with relaxers. My mother-in-law, Mama Polly, that I love to pieces, we were just talking. She's like, girl, I used to relax my hair and it was down my back. She said it was healthier then than it is even now. I said, because you respected the chemical. Then we got obsessed. Then we wanted to constantly overuse the chemical, going every 4 weeks, didn't know when to stop.
When do y'all get to the point where you start putting Gorilla Glue on there?
Oh, yeah. I love that.
Yeah,
I love
that's
that.
the next frontier, right?
Is that going to be a part of
that one, I definitely emoted with my girl, though. I did. And it's not so much that her hair was stuck. I understood why she did what she did. First of all, it obviously shows when people were like, oh my God. Our community, she was thinking, so there is a product called Gorilla Snot, and it's a hood product. It's our product, right? And the beauty supplies. Yeah, nobody really knew about it. But she also showed. That would scare the hell out of me. I know. I haven't used it or anything.
I'm good.
But my girl Kay, who's on our team, was like breaking that part down because I haven't seen it. But she's like, what happened is it was two things. She got confused with the other product, Got to Be or something like that, and Gorilla Snot, and thought it was okay. And people are like, she didn't read what's on there. She may have not been able to understand.
That's true.
And we take that for granted because there's people in our community that still struggle with reading. And that gets me very emotional to my core. And that is part of the mission of making sure these products end up with the stylists. Recycle stylists are educated. They'll help our people because they love us, all of that. Bottom line with Gorilla Glue, she wanted to look good. That is what's reflected in society. Lay down. You don't, what man coming up to a woman with her hair pulled back and is all bushed out? The day that happens, I'll be doing the same damn thing. When that is the finest woman in the club or at the mall or down the runway, they do things very exotic, which is beautiful, but yes. But ain't nobody laying at the pool, going any black woman, natural, just going in or at the gym. I don't care if she did her hair. These natural looks, they're all manipulated. They're twist outs. She's laying, she's doing the scarf. I'm here, my hair right now, manipulated. Actually, this is a treatment. So, you remember my hair back in the day. So this is not, a lot of things like with Gorilla Glue, girl, we actually tried to reach out to her because we wanted to send our hair vitamins to her, but also let her know you did nothing wrong. And I was very blessed to see somebody stand up in the community, a doctor that took care of it with no problem.
Right.
But people gave her a hard time, or people gave the whole thing a hard time. And I even had some friends that have hair texture not like hers, and was like, we got a deeper problem than this. And it's like, hold up, girl, please. You don't know what the problem is, because you wouldn't have said it. You would have said, I get it.
From your standpoint, what's the biggest barrier for us as in the African American community in having more direct access to the chemicals and the products that we actually need? What's the biggest barrier?
Very good question. Education for the hairstylist. In cosmetology school, they can pass, get licensed, ready to go, but never working on a Black person's hair. And never having, and not having to do a relaxer. There you go. I'm going to change it, and it's going to happen. And it's not going to take that long. There you have it.
I want to go back to something that you had said earlier. You started New Hair out during the pandemic. You had to elicit help of a male to get stuff done. Obviously, with 2020 and coronavirus, like we weren't able to be out in public and do trade shows and conventions. How much did that impact you in terms of getting the brand off the ground?
Well, unfortunately, it's still trying to get off the ground because of the pandemic. So we are utilizing the same tools as everybody else. So anybody out there that's, feeling bad for themselves, don't. I mean, it was a tough year. Your resilience will set forth for 2021, 2022, 2023. We're learning to live with the virus. So, I mean, it was definitely challenging. I mean, a lot of it is through social media. And of course, when you're a new brand, new company coming in social media and all these these platforms that have existed, and you don't really even understand it, because I was never a fan of social media. That's been tough, and trying to do all the things that optics create. You got to get all these followers, everything else to even get people interested. And that's probably the only part that is the most challenging when you're starting off in the pandemic, trying to reach out to people. How do you reach out to them? Definitely a lot of unique ways. We've done Zoom meetings. We've also been involved with folks that are involved with politics that have followings, but it is still a challenge when you're new, because we are in an oversaturated industry. Black hair care, the good news is we're oversaturated in terms of, I want to say there's plenty of room for as many players. So, I mean, if y'all are hearing me and you want to do a Black hair care product, come on and let's all work together. Okay. So there's plenty of space for all of us, too much space. The problem we're having is creativity, uniqueness. It's the same product,
just packaged differently.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, how can it be different? I mean, how many different type of variations are out there that will be healthy and beneficial for your hair? Correct.
You're correct, but that's why you have to be innovative. The general market, meaning everybody else, definitely with, a white woman's hair. I mean, that is, if you go down that aisle, they've figured out how to meet the needs. I think we need to be able to educate more within our community and making sure the products we're delivering are meeting some of the unique needs. There's so many of us with those similar unique needs. Don't sell yourself short. Create a niche. Do what Steve Jobs did. It was a niche when it first started, and look where he is today. Follow your passion in that. So, I mean, that is to me the most important thing. But then also provide a need. Women are tired of being natural. I think everybody kind of knows that. They know they don't have, all day. Some of them are tired of hair day. You have some women that enjoy wearing weaves but don't want to wear it every day. They want to wear their hair, but they need it to be get up and go hair. You have women that want to be able to experience that. And my job is to provide that.
As we get ready to transition, Cuff, allow me to say thank you to another group of people who have helped us immensely throughout the past year and change. And that's Crystal and Tim at Class A Vodka. Visionaries, the slogan is class in every glass. If you have not had a chance to get your hands on a bottle yet, please do. We stand on the product for a reason. I have a cup of it now, and I feel great after a long day in the office.
Yeah.
The Instagram handle is at Class A _ Vodka, I do believe. It's Class A with a K. Again, it's Class A Vodka. Make sure you guys pick up a bottle. If you have trouble getting a hold of it, send them a DM. They will make sure you're taken care of.
Yeah, man. Big ups to Class A, Tim and Crystal. Just an amazing couple. Absolutely love the product. Now I want to jump into NuStandard. Like, I want the visionaries to know what this product is. What can they expect from NuStandard?
NuStandard, she deserves it all is our whole motto.
I love it.
Yes. This is in the eyes for Black women, but we are not exclusive. So anybody that has the same needs, because believe it or not, there are other women and women of color and women that are white that are like, I have those needs. So we're not exclusive, but we do focus and pinpoint the needs of a Black woman.
Have you found it challenging to kind of tightrope that line where you don't want to exclude a category? This is inclusive for everyone, but we are focused in this particular direction.
No, not at all. I do feel what happens is a lot of brands will start off focusing on Black women and then broaden the market to make more money and then abandon them. And that's been a huge issue where a Black woman will not be able to resonate anymore with the brand that she was so loyal to. I'm sure you guys may have heard of the issue with certain companies where they grow successfully and then they're introducing women that are not of color, not even biracial women, that are basically saying, we love this product, it works for us. And I think there's a sense of pride for Black women to know that a product was made for them and in the eyes of them, and they don't want to lose that. Again, I grew up in Black hair care. All those products, they were always made for us.
And here's what's crazy, because, we're talking NuStandard, right? And we're talking brand loyalty. You're right, especially for us being 80s babies, growing up in my opinion, like one of the biggest Black hair care product times, like the early 90s, hearing Just For Me on BET and all that stuff, right? Like, I remember the jingle, Just For Me.
Everybody remembers that.
I relaxed your conditioning cream.
And you were in that commercial too?
Yeah. Well, not in the commercial. I had the
You were in the
fortune.
box.
I was on the box,
Okay.
and I was on billboards and buses, and I definitely was very blessed for the opportunity, and my grandfather, because he treated me like everybody else. I had to do a model call. I had to have my act together. He was a hardworking man, and he was not having me not do the same.
100%, as he should, right? He's got to protect the brand overall. But when while we're talking about brand,
Yes.
how, and we know that Just For Me, what's the
Carol's daughter.
Yeah, Dukes. Wasn't it Dukes at one point?
Yeah, Duke.
There was another one that was a blue.
Not Blue Mag, Denzel in American Gangster. Oh man,
I can't remember.
You have Duke. I mean, the old school cats will say Dog Mane. Don't get me started. I can go down this.
But you can see, you can go down that road, and we did that, especially in the African American community. Like, we were loyal to those hair care products.
Luster's pink hair conditioner. Luster's pink hair conditioner.
I still
all
use
that.
Luster's for what I have left. But but how are you going to intertwine that or encourage people to be loyal to NuStandard? That's a challenge.
Yes, and I'm not seeking to encourage people to be loyal to us. What I want to show is that we're loyal to you.
That's good.
That is the most important thing. You can do whatever you want to do, but we're loyal to you. We are loyal to our community.
That's
the
good.
Black community. That is who I am. That is what we belong to. And that is all I want them to know. We are loyal to you. I think it's important that if there is not a need that we do not have, you search for that need, but just make sure you try to do it within our community. There's a lot of us in the community that can be entrepreneurs, provide needs different from what I can. And I'm not trying to take the space. I want to share this space in the Black hair care community.
Now, you spell NuStandard differently. So for those that are listening, again, thank you very much for tuning in. Talk about the spelling.
The spelling is my mom. And my mom loved the uniqueness. My mom is the one that created Just For Me. And of course, my mom is my role model, and her name is Renee Cottrell Brown, and that's my grandfather's daughter. And when she said new in you, just something different, you put that you in there, she's like, we will understand it. I don't care about anybody else.
Good point.
And I said, well, thank you, Mama. So, straight up, that is where it came from, my mother. Standard, I wanted to set the new tone. And always we are evolving in our community. So NuStandard will continue to evolve in terms of elevating all of those things.
So real quickly, while we're here, go ahead and drop your professional Instagram handle and Facebook page, all that good stuff.
Absolutely.
As well as your
You
website.
can catch us at NuStandard Hair, all the way around on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, on Instagram. And then also you can follow us on the website. Go to the website, it's NuStandardHair.com.
Bookmark it.
Yes, bookmark it.
So I'm actually on the website now. You've got a number of different products. Let's talk a little bit about, some of the take and go, touch and go, spray and go.
I love that you said the names, because she's on the go. She deserves it all. She's a busy woman making dreams happen. She's hustling. She's just going to the next level. She doesn't have time and doesn't want to waste time too much on her hair, even though her crown is very important because she is our queen. So let's not get it twisted, but she also understands there's other important items that need to be taken care of day to day. So our products are made for the busy woman on the go. And we are into health, beauty, and science. So our products are made with innovation in mind and with the Black woman in mind, where the products are smaller by size, you need less of it, and you can take it to go, and robust ingredients, strong ingredients.
When someone encounters NuStandard Hair for the first time, obviously, so you are catering to a certain demographic, but you're not excluding anybody. What are some of the core tenets that you want them to be able to, when they hit that website, that Instagram page, or however they come into contact with NuStandard Hair, what are the core tenets that you want them to be able to take away from it?
I'm going to tell you straight up, all I care about the situation and for them to take care of is their health. And if you notice, our number one product is our hair vitamins.
Okay.
I love my sisters, and I know how I was encouraged to take a vitamin daily, beyond the fact of prenatals. And I know us ladies, when we're pregnant, we're forced to take prenatals because we care about our baby. But then after that, we all stopped taking them. And I was motivated because I was having hair issues afterwards, losing my edges, losing my hair constantly, hormonal changes as you age as a lady. And so I realized and discovered the importance of a good hair vitamin. But what's ironic, what you fail to understand, what makes healthy hair grow is when you are healthy. Mm-hmm. And so those vitamins that we have, 25 ingredients of botanicals, minerals, as well as herbs that really push all the way around of your health and your hair, your skin, and your nails. So that's what I love. And that is what I would want them to take away, actually. And it's not even trying to push a product. Look, at the end of the day, go get a hair vitamin or a vitamin somewhere. Our community struggles with health, and I think it has been stated multiple times, especially through this pandemic. Vitamin D is one of the biggest issues that we have and lack of. And even with...
Why?
Lack of resources, lack of access to good food. We got food deserts going on in our community. We don't have access to the same restaurants as everybody else has. I mean, we forget that. A lot of programs where kids are getting at least decent meals is through schools. And remember, schools shut down during virtual, and then it was challenging with virtual learning. Not every independent school district had that available for the kids. I mean, it is something that continues, and a lot of times people expect for us to get our own bootstraps and everything. But like as Martin Luther King Jr. said, if you don't got no boots, what are we supposed to do? So, I mean, at the end of the day, health. And it's amazing because when you have certain vitamins in your body, the first thing that happens for all of our clients that are using our vitamins, but like I said, get on any vitamin at the end of the day, they have a moisturized scalp. And moisture is one of the biggest issues in our, with our beauty. We feel like we have lack of moisture in our hair.
Being on the website, looking at the products, I'm impressed with one thing in particular, and that's the price point. It's extremely affordable. Whatever socioeconomic, background or class that you're in, I'm looking at these prices. It's impressive. What was the mindset behind that?
My community. I wanted to make sure they had access. And whatever we have to do, bend backwards and forwards. I'm very fortunate to have my husband on the team as an advisor. That is where he has definitely helped guide me with certain principles. Also, we believe that through time, because it is a sacrifice when you have lower pricing, when you're providing great value in terms of the quality of the products, the efficacy of the products. You're being charged left and right, making sure you deliver these products. Yes, ladies, we give it all to you. You get your little take and go pill case. Who does that for, a vitamin to make sure you don't forget? But bottom line is that we do believe she deserves it all. And we believe with growth, it will recycle in and it will help the business grow. But thank you for recognizing the competitiveness in our pricing, because we want to make sure our community can embrace that.
Yeah, I think, I think everyone understands, at least, conceptually, that as a business owner, I'm here to make money, right? But I'm looking at this, I'm like, $15? Like,
shh, don't tell everybody.
Oh, I want all the women and men that need to, get their partners, products for Mother's Day coming up soon in a month and a half or so. Visit NuStandardHair.com. I think it's amazing. I think it's extremely affordable, and it's a great way to show your, mother, sister, auntie, wife, whomever, how much you care about them by making sure that they're, that they are healthy. So kudos to you for doing that, and I want to make sure that we did highlight that. So as we continue to look at, NuStandard Hair, what is one thing that you've learned throughout this entire process while building this brand that you feel like you could teach to anybody?
Really, anybody can do it. If you have the drive, you're willing to be open, you're willing to pivot, meaning when it's time to go left, when you want to go right. That's probably one of the hardest things, but to do that and persevere. So there's moments when you do need to stay right and not go left and get so nervous. But we can all do this. I really, really want to say, if you are interested in Black hair care, you have great ideas. It can all happen. It's not hard. I'm available to mentor and help. We need more of us in the space. A lot of us, when we become successful, we end up selling, forming strategic partnerships with companies that are not minority businesses, all of those things, and not keeping us true to our community. We have to believe that we can create something, and it actually can be predominantly owned by Black Americans and continue to flourish, and we're able to grow in different ways. We don't always have to sell out to corporate America.
And not just in black hair care, it can be in any industry
Absolutely.
too.
Yes.
And I think
absolutely.
that's one of the things that we always want to communicate is that if you have a vision and or a dream, just go after it, right? Now, I would be remiss if, obviously Mo and I are not females. Will there ever be any products for men?
Now, sure you guys know with my husband here, that was like, before he even got involved, that was like an agreement we had. So, we always tease the whole saying with NuStandard, she deserves it all. And then we tease that NuStandard, he earned it all, so we always tease those like brand names and everything, but absolutely we plan on doing some line extensions and putting men in the mix and our babies in the mix as well.
Cuff, we are at the point I have to say thank you to the good folks of Dallasleaf LLC, the entire army of them. Anybody who knows Dallasleaf, they come in numbers. Whether it is cigars, which Ron, I know I talked to you a couple weeks ago. I'm a fan of the Hamilton. I know everyone talks about the Bishop, but the Hamilton is my favorite right now. Philanthropic events, entertainment, charity, whatever you want to get done, Dallasleaf can make sure you're taken care of. Folks, the web address is DallasleafLLC.com. The Instagram handle is @Dallasleaf LLC. Make sure you contact them for any needs that you need taken care of. As we switch gears, if you will, you've got an amazing thing going. But at the same time, and you touched on it briefly, earlier in the interview, you're a wife, you're a mom. We talk about the word all the time, balance. One, is there a such thing in your life as balance? And two, if there is, how do you do it?
No, there's no such thing as balance, but that's something we strive for, just like success, right? That's the part that's beautiful about living. The moment you stop growing is definitely, like
you start dying.
Yeah, it's like we're like trees. Literally, when a tree stops growing, it's on its way out. So, balance is one of the things I constantly strive to learn and how to do it better. But I love the challenge. And I know what we're trying to do overall for our community. So it is a challenge, though. And I would definitely say, hang in there. Don't throw it to the left or the right. Go through it, experience it, figure out every day how you can do better and try to balance.
And while we're in this space and we're talking about balancing as a wife, you got your CEO hat on, right? Then you have your wife hat on, and then you've got your mommy hat on, or what have you. How do you go through your day, from the time that you wake up to the moment that you finally get an opportunity to close your eyes? What does a day in the life of Autumn look like?
Well, I gotta admit, my partner in crime is down because he is beyond my husband, very busy, but he, I believe, sees how hard I work and is inspired. So he's in on it too. So I go to bed sometimes 3, 4 in the morning. I was talking to some of the business folks we work out with in China. So our times are often different.
It is what it is.
And it is amazing, though, how fortunate I am. I'm going to bed at 4 a.m. He's going to have to get up at 4 a.m. so he can get some pre-work done before he has his calls with some of his clients. But yet he'll do that as I'm falling asleep. But then the luxury for me to make sure I get my sleep, take care of the kids in the morning, fix them breakfast. I am very fortunate. We're a team. And I definitely say, if you can, and sometimes circumstances are not like that, get help and assistance. If you can, whether it's family members, don't always think you got to pay for it. There are people that believe in your dream and want to support it. So I'm fortunate with him there, helping with the kids. But the problem we have is the kids want mommy, And I'm like, what about daddy? Please go to daddy. Mm-hmm. And it's like, and it's funny, I brought it on myself because I was like, I want my babies all about me, So it came back to haunt me. My babies are all about mommy, and those are my sugars. I love them. And they drive me crazy, and they don't understand time, and they don't understand those things. And you guys are both laughing because they don't. They don't care.
Not at all.
And then you got to keep in mind you're raising them. You want their mental well-being. And I remember growing up, I complained to my parents that they were never there for me, and they were. But my optics were different versus my friends because they were trying to, again, build a business with my grandfather, be a part of the community. And I didn't see all that until now. And it's like amazing when I'm like, I'm sorry for giving you guys a hard time complaining that you were never there. So I do things a little bit different. I involve them. I make my son help me with, the orders. When we have all these orders we have to send out, he helps me all the way. He helps me with the labels, putting labels on products.
That's good for him, though.
It is, but he wants to help. And that's the part where I'm very happy with him wanting that drive. Now, little Miss Thing, I have a 2-year-old diva. She just likes to just yell at everybody and tell us what to do and how to do the business. Yes, so that's who we answer to.
I wonder where she gets that from. So you've talked about being the mother, which I think a lot of people can understand, and you've given your husband a number of shout outs, well deserved too. When do you guys get to have time for each other that's not in a professional manner? And how do you balance that?
That's what I was talking about earlier. Like, is it ever turn off?
Well, we are both ambitious, and I do, and he does. We make time, but it's so crazy when we do have our time together. We talk about our goals and dreams. I mean, when we met, though, in all honesty, we met with that. Like, that is just our foundation: business, drive, dreams. I mean, he has listened to me from the beginning of wanting to start my own business. I mean, we didn't have I don't know what other couples talk about, but we talk about trying to kill the game, trying to help our community, be a part of our community. What differences can we make with education and impact? So, I mean, I know it may sound boring to people, but that's just how we've been. I mean, and it's funny. We met with some cigars, and he gave me a couple of shots of tequila, and I love the whole motto with cigars and all that. And once COVID is over, well, we did get vaccinated. Hey, but, definitely want to do this again with you gentlemen with the cigars. The support's been amazing.
Absolutely will happen. I think it's time, Pete, to open things up.
Yes.
Let's land the plane.
Absolutely. The segment is sponsored by the good folks at Yarbrough. Thank you to Francisco, the owner, Jameson, and the entire squad at the Lovers team for making this happen. Thank you guys so much. Visionaries Against Another product we stand behind. It's Yarbrough's a cognac cafe. So it's a little bit different than anything you've ever tasted.
Nice bottle, guys.
Oh, that's all people at Yarbrough.
Mm-hmm. I gotta take one home. Where's mine?
We'll make sure you're taken care of.
All right.
One of the things that we ask everybody in regards to landing the plane on the show, it's you, and there's a table. There are 5 other seats. Who are the 5 people you want at your table?
Oh my gosh, you guys!
You said you listened, so you should have known this.
I didn't know you
Dead or
did
alive.
to me. I thought I was special.
Who do you want at your table?
I have something else too.
I got you.
5 other people. Do they have to be alive?
Dead or alive. The only caveat is you can't have whatever religious deity you believe in.
Oh yeah.
That's too easy.
My great-grandmother, Helen Cottrell, I would have her there. And when I was young, and I used to be like amazed with my grandfather, and that's her son, Comer Cottrell. He's like, oh my God, he's amazing. I'll never be what he did, do what he did. She's like, baby, you gonna do it, and you gonna do it better. And to this day, still, I admire what my grandfather has done and made his business into a global business, but I definitely have to have her there. I have to have my husband. He is my best friend. I mean, I know I work his nerves, rightfully so. He's down for the cause. He makes sure that I'm taken care of. He keeps me focused, all of that. My mother, I have to have her there at the table. Oh, 2 more. Okay. This is tough because there's like 20 more.
I know.
Let me ask a question.
Okay, I had to have one fun person that I like obsessed all throughout my life. And, just her energy would be inspiring. She may not be able to contribute necessarily directly to Black hair care. That's Janet Jackson. I know it's weird. I know.
There's nothing weird
But
about that.
I
Janet was
love
bad
her.
back in the day.
I mean, I love
Come on now.
everything about her. I mean, she actually made my childhood great. When there was times when I felt lonely as a Black girl, just listening to her, dancing to her, always inspiring me, seeing her grow in her career. So I definitely love her, always will. And to this day, I wish I had the honor to meet her. Then I would say the last person, ultimately, I know this person to me has made actually the most impactful change in my time. I did not have the fortunate opportunity to meet him, but my mother and my grandfather did, and that's Nelson Mandela.
That's a good one.
And my favorite thing he said is, "It's impossible until it's done." I don't know if that's verbatim, but that's what stuck with me. I mean, he said that along the lines, and that's all constantly what I think, because there are several moments, and I'm sure you guys all feel this way. A lot of times you cave in and you're like, man, this is impossible. And I just think about him. I had the opportunity to go to South Africa and see the change he made in the country. He is the most phenomenal person that's ever lived on this planet. Or one, I got to be careful here. But, for me, I am very, very connected to what he has done. And for me, if I can make an impact here in Dallas, in the Black community in Dallas, then I'm well on my way. But I don't mind beating the pavement, working as hard as more than anybody to accomplish his dream. And it's not about the money. My focus is making a change. That everything works out when you recycle the dollars in the community. Everybody gets taken care of when you do that and rotate.
That's a hellified answer. We're going to play a quick game of word association. Rapid fire, no thinking.
Straight reaction.
Okay? I'm going to say either a name or a word. Immediately, what is your first thought? Okay?
Okay, I'm ready.
Comer Cottrell.
Amazing.
Madam C.J. Walker.
Brilliant.
Vision.
Heaven.
Legacy.
Forever.
Start.
Now.
You're looking at me like we're on Family Feud.
I don't know. I didn't know how quickly I needed to answer, but I was like,
I feel like I was Steve Harvey there. So that wasn't so bad, now was it?
It was all right.
No, you knocked it out. You knocked it out, man. But it's certainly amazing to see the growth and maturation. Having known you for so long, I mean, you've had a number of tremendous influencers within your life. Living with one and your mother, right? Your grandfather as well. I can only imagine just the type of help that they would have received, getting everything started and off the ground back then. How do you think that looks like now?
I think it's a little bit harder now, but it's also financially easier because you have more tools with social media and everything else to get off the ground. I say it's harder because, again, the space is so crowded, you need to make sure you're able to have that visibility. And so then now, even though you're still being, controlled by your, information and letting people know what you're trying to do. And unfortunately, if you don't have the right networks in place, it can still be somewhat of a challenge So it is harder now, in my opinion. Some people may argue differently, but I think as a Black person, I still think it's hard unless you're doing something, entertainment wise. But if you're really trying to make a difference and you don't want to be, injured or dead, like, to me, those are the only options to make a voice for yourself. And I don't want that. And that's what's sad. Anytime we make change or impact, somebody has to be severely injured or pass away. And let me not get started there, but you guys know.
But what I hear is it takes a village.
Oh, yes. So with the village and all of, you cannot and do it alone. And I know some people have the attitude that they can't do it alone, or they're scared to ask for help. I will definitely say, and again, gentlemen, thank you so much.
Oh, no, thank you.
I mean, this has been an honor as a startup to know that I am in a space where I'm being supported and you're rooting for me to win.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. That is the part that is very important at the very early stages. If somebody looks at you side eye, or you telling somebody about what you're trying to do and they're quiet, move on. Stay focused on your dream. Surround yourself around people like I am right now. I mean, shoot, Cuffy, you found, like, we were already on Instagram, but I did one post and you reached out, and you guys, I'm going to tell you, I was like shocked, nervous. Like, I was like, well, I haven't even done anything yet. And this was months ago. And he was like, it doesn't matter. People need to know the journey. People need to hear it. And that part just made me more determined. It was empowering. It was like, wow, I believe in myself. And there's actually people that are looking at what I'm doing and believe in this. I mean, there's plenty of people that know me back in the day during Proline. They ain't paying me any attention. And then those that have, they could care less. They could give two shits of what's going on. They're like, here we go again. But I'm going to say, make sure you surround yourself. It does take a village. Yes, I understand you're going to ask for help. And even the people you hope that are going to give you help may not. But don't give up. Let people know what you're doing. It will happen. And that's why I'm here right now. And I mean, this has been amazing, but I'm saying you guys have created a wonderful space. I thank you guys very much. Love y'all dearly. Thank you for having me here.
It's good to finally meet you.
I know. I just want to do more, you guys. That's all.
we obviously know some of the same people. It's good
Absolutely.
to put a name on the face.
Well, it's our honor. And I think it is important to document the journey, right? To verbalize the journey, to share that journey, because there's somebody out there right now that this hits, right at home with, and they're on the edge, thinking about jumping off and doing, pursuing their passion and dream, but there's something that's holding them back. And we are just hopeful that the TheVisionLab is the place that they can come to and have that final string cut and allow them to go off and be free. And so your words are reciprocated, and it's our honor. You know what I mean? And so we're very, very grateful for that. So I've always asked these two questions at the end of every episode. And if you're still listening, thank you again for continuing to support the TheVisionLab podcast. What's the long-term vision for Autumn, Yarbrough, and NuStandard?
I am pretty aggressive. I definitely would love to see this grow into a global brand for Black women being the face. Again, inclusive for anybody that has those similar needs. They know that NuStandard can meet those needs, but I want a place that Black women know this brand is loyal to them. And they constantly are able to see themselves reflected worldwide. So there is a woman that is Black in Australia or in Europe. She sees herself and she knows this product is made with me in mind.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. We ask this question to every single guest on the podcast. In case you didn't know, we've got a magical time machine. We're going to rewind the clock 5 years ago. So what would today's version of Autumn, what advice would you be giving yourself from 5 years ago?
Start now.
Yeah, we hear that a lot. Start now. That's a great answer too. Now we're going to fast forward the clock. We're going to put a little bit of age on you here. Got 5 more years on you. So what advice is the older version of Autumn? What advice is she giving you today?
You'll make it.
That's it. I love that. I believe in that too. Autumn, it's been outstanding. It's been awesome. It's really good to reconnect too. And it's been.
Thank you guys.
I want to say what? I think it's been like 20-something years.
Woo! But you said third grade. I'm like, first grade we met, but that's all right. It was you. I'm okay to say Clint and Nick. Oh, you guys were
Shout out
like,
to Nick and Clint.
Yeah, that's what's Miller Elementary. Right on, that's right there. Shoot.
But it's certainly good to reconnect and see you
and Travis.
And Travis.
Ooh, no, we can't forget Travis.
Yep.
Sorry, y'all.
Yep. Can't forget Trav. Who's killing it in Arlington over at TJ's Catfish and Wings. So if everyone's out there in Arlington, make sure you get you some catfish over there. It's outstanding. But I just want to say again, thank you so much. As TVLP continues to celebrate Women's History Month, we certainly want to have you on to really highlight what you're doing. And to all of our visionaries, tune in next week, episode 102. We're going to have co-owner of Emperor's Cut Cigars, Miss Timmy Bush. She'll be in the lab dropping more knowledge and nuggets of wisdom. Again, a big thank you to Miss Autumn Brown Yarbrough and NuStandard. This has been outstanding. So remember, each one of our guests are dropping nuggets of wisdom here on the Trail of Life. Ultimately, my friends, it's up to you to pick them up.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan Mosley. He is Ryan Cuffey. The voice you've been listening to is Autumn Yarbrough. Hope I said that correctly, right?
Absolutely.
She is the founder, CEO, all of the above of NuStandardHair.com. Thank you, Autumn, for your time. It's nice to meet you finally.
Yes.
Visionaries, we will see you guys next week on another great episode of the Vision Lab podcast.
Blessings.